Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of President Bollinger, Dr. Corwin, Deans Armstrong, Fraser, Stoller, and Freed, welcome to this extremely special event in this beautiful space. We are so honored to have the First Lady, Her Majesty, and Dr. Reyes here with us today. Throughout history, there has been tension between health and disease. This is particularly profound in cancer. While the past would be a recurring witness to the prevailing nature of cancer, in the last 10 years, this tide has turned. Maintenance of health through strategies in prevention, screening, and early detection, as well as advances in story, have either maintained normal health or restored good health, and continuation of normal health in our cancer survivors. These are all at the nexus of a unified roadmap across the United States and indeed the world. Here at Columbia University's and New York Presbyterian Hospital's Herbert Irving Comprehensive Cancer Center, our amazing physicians, scientists, nurses, staff, and trainees are dedicated to discovery, service, and compassionate care. Their heroism is on display on a daily basis, regardless of external circumstances. Our commitment to our patients, families, caregivers, and our communities in which they reside is of paramount importance and is our North Star. The NCI revolutionized cancer research and care with the launch of the Cancer Centers program. Our cancer was one of the first designated by the NCI, and this year we are proud to celebrate our 50th anniversary of this designation. Fast forward to 2016, and the Cancer Moonshot Initiative again changed the landscape of cancer research and care. This has been energized even further this year by the expansion of the Cancer Moonshot under President Biden. Ameliorating and mitigating the consequences of cancer and ending cancer is a global effort. We have no doubt that this decade will continue to witness robust and durable progress in our collective march towards cancer's end. Please welcome the distinguished Dr. Ramon Reyes, President of the Spanish Association Against Cancer, for his remarks.
Her Majesty, Queen of Spain, Honorable Dr. Biden, senior government officials, members of the press, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to be here with you today to celebrate World Cancer Research Day. World Cancer Research Day, an initiative launched by the Spanish Association Against Cancer and founded by the NCI and other 8 cancer center global organizations around the globe, has allowed us to build a momentum to raise awareness on the importance of the cancer research, promote collaborations between countries, enhance infrastructures, and reduce inequities of the patients worldwide. I would like to especially thank Dr. Biden and Her Majesty Queen for helping us to visualize the collaborations between our countries in the fight against cancer. Cancer is the biggest sociosanitary problem affecting 18 million people worldwide. Thus, we have to come together to accelerate the results with the aim of increasing patient survival by 7% in 2030. This year, under the claim "Support Research to Prevent Cancer and Catch It Early," the scientific international community will be focused on equity, addressing the inequities in terms of cancer access to the last results in prevention and early detection. We know cancer as a disease we often diagnose too late. We must identify new tools to detect cancer earlier and improve the access to existing ways to screen for cancer and support patients through the process of diagnosis. Let's come together and keep joining forces to reduce impact of cancer and reducing inequities in the access to the results to all cancer patients worldwide. Thank you very much.
And now it's our great honor to welcome and introduce Dr. Jill Biden, First Lady of the United States.
Thank you, Dr. Rutsky. Thank you for your kind introduction and for taking the time to show us your incredible work and what your entire team is doing to fight cancer. Queen Letizia, Ambassador Cabanas, Secretary Moreno-Bal, and all of the Spanish delegation, thank you for joining us today. And before I begin, I'd like all Americans, I want to say that my heart is with the people of Puerto Rico who are coping with Hurricane Fiona. You are not alone or forgotten. We stand with you, and we will do everything we can to help you rebuild. Early in our administration, Queen Letizia invited me to learn more about Spain's incredible efforts to fight cancer. So when we traveled to Spain for the NATO summit, I flew in early to meet her. And right away, I could see how much of her heart is in her work. I was inspired by her passion and by the cutting-edge work we saw that day. And thank you, Dr. Reyes, for taking the time to show us the HICCC. Your work truly touched my heart. After my visit, I wanted to bring the Queen here to see what we are doing here in the United States through the Cancer Moonshot, especially as the Columbia Cancer Center works closely with researchers and clinicians in Spain. Moments ago, when we were downstairs, we met a man named Mario. And when he was 12 years old, Mario's father died of cancer. Then at 65, he heard the words that, you know this well, can just strike fear into the bravest person. The words that his father had heard 50 years before. You have cancer. Thankfully, Mario was treated by amazing doctors here at Columbia, and it was a success. He was better until he wasn't. In 2015, he was diagnosed with an even more aggressive cancer, and when the standard therapies began to fail, Mario felt himself losing hope. But that's when he met Brianne. She's a clinical trials nurse navigator. And Brianne helped Mario involve in clinical trials here and guided him through test after test, making sure that he was never alone. And as he navigated this confusing and frightening world of cancer treatment, her help made all the difference. Mario, thank you for sharing your story. I love to see you so healthy. And Brianne, thank you. Thank you, Brianne, for reminding us just how far kindness and support can go. It's stories like that, stories about putting patients in the center of their care, that make the Columbia Cancer Center so special. This cancer center is addressing the deep disparities in care that we've seen just far too often. We've heard the statistics. Life-saving treatments are really often out of reach for communities like this one, for neighborhoods of color, low-income areas, or places where care is difficult to access. When it comes to clinical trials, too many people get left behind. But this cancer center is changing that. Doctors and nurses are meeting patients where they are and reaching out to ensure people in their community that they can access the world-class cancer care that they need. And the results speak for themselves. More than 4 in 10 clinical trial participants are people of color, over twice the national average. In some ways, cancer touches us all. That's true in the United States, it's true in Spain, and it's true around the world. Almost 30 years ago, I started to work in the cancer space when I founded the Biden Breast Health Initiative. Since then, brilliant minds from every corner of the world have made incredible leaps in treatments, cures, patient care, and prevention. But I've also learned that these brilliant minds aren't always working together. The Cancer Moonshot is working to change that. We have an ambitious goal to decrease the death rate from cancer by at least 50% over the next 25 years. We're working to improve the experience of patients, their families, and caregivers. And we're working to support partnerships that cross borders and, yes, oceans. Because none of us can beat cancer alone. It takes all of us sharing our best ideas and practices, working together to ease the burden on patients and their families, and creating the kind of care that saves lives. So we must continue to collaborate across the oceans, share knowledge, and find the hope that connects us. Together, we can give our people the future they deserve, no matter where they call home. Together, we can end cancer as we know it. Thank you. Thank you. And now it's my honor to introduce a woman who has been a tireless partner in this fight for more than a decade, who fights for the people of Spain and cancer patients around the world. My dear friend, Queen Letizia.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone, especially to Brianne and Mario. Good morning. Allow me to start my remarks by thanking you, Dr. Biden, dear Jill, for your constant support of cancer research and prevention over so many years, as well as for the general advancement of all the mechanisms that allow equal access to the best therapeutic tools. Very recently, as you say, during your visit in Madrid in the NATO Summit. All of us who are part of the Spanish Association Against Cancer witnessed the strength and determination of your commitment and the inspiring impulse of your words. Thanks also to Herbert Irving Comprehensive Cancer Center at Columbia University, and of course the National Cancer Institute for hosting us. Let me recognize the role of the Spanish Association Against Cancer for promoting and leading this World Cancer Research Day. Well, Marie Curie apparently once said, "We stop fearing that what we have learned to understand. Now is the time to understand more so that we may fear less. That is precisely why we are here, to vindicate the transformative role of science and to enhance our collective approach so we may redouble our necessary efforts and therefore generate much more shared knowledge worldwide. We are talking about science, about research, probably the most powerful tool to advancing progress and social welfare. Spain is also strongly committed to science as an engine of economic, social, and health transformation. Therefore, it is essential that the results reach everyone, whoever they are, wherever they live, and whatever their economic capacity may be. This is the challenge we are facing in Spain, in US, and all over the world. Cancer knows no borders, and this social perspective of research is a global imperative. The comprehensive equity that we seek, and is so relevant to this World Cancer Research Day, is strikingly exemplified, and something that we have been hearing for decades about its importance, but still today lacks the true investment required. That is prevention. Experts have said it more than 1,000 times. Most recently, Philippe Thierry, president of the Organization of European Cancer Institutes. The main inequality lies in prevention, since more than 40% of tumors have their origin in the consumption of tobacco, alcohol, and a poor diet. Let me add to this point what our world-renowned scientist Carlos López Otín says, and cannot be more clear. Neither immunotherapy nor therapies based on genome decipherment, nor the most sophisticated robotic surgery equipment, nor high-precision radiotherapy can save many lives as cancer prevention. And by the way, of all risk factors, tobacco is the most decisive, as it is the greatest trigger for developing cancer. Allow me to stress even further the huge importance of prevention and its impact on equity, with the also very clear message coming from European Commission's Cancer Plan. Prevention is more effective than any cure and the most cost-effective cancer control strategy in the long term. Prevention, early diagnosis, and equity. This is a triple perspective that places people at the very center of everything, and that permeates the ecosystem we are part of, by the health systems of each country, research spaces, administrations and governments, civil society, the business community, and large companies, universities, and schools. Susan Sontag, the great New Yorker and Prince of Asturias Award in Literature, in her still valid book, Illness as a Metaphor, recommended us to avoid romanticizing, using metaphors or war-like language when talking about cancer. I believe we are only gradually beginning to overcome what she denounced. Science today increasingly integrates kindness and reality, inspired by deep and humane values with a universal aim and aspiration to improve people's lives. Scientists and scientific institutions worldwide are also fully aware of the limited availability of resources and of the dire need to promote proper health education, to respect and uphold one's own health and that of others. Just thank you very much.
I wish this program could go on forever, but this does conclude our program. And please re-express our deepest appreciation to the First Lady and Her Majesty.